welcome to my bathroom floor. It's a very exciting place to be, I know. And we are investigating whether air takes up space, which is kind of hard to know because we can't see air. But what I found were some toys in my basement that by looking at them, we know that they take up space. And we can probably tell, like, which one do you think takes up the most space, Michaela? Like, which toy do you think takes up the most space? Probably that monster. And which one do you think maybe takes up the least amount of space? Maybe the car. So those are maybe the two that we'll test out. But by looking at them, we know they take up space. And we're gonna drop them into a beaker of water. Each beaker of water has 400 milliliters, and this is just blue food coloring. So you can see it's at the 400 milliliter mark. And same with this one right here, 400 milliliter mark. And let's start with the little car. And we're gonna drop it into the water and just watch what happens to the water level. Go ahead. As you notice, the water level rose up. We say that the car displaced some of that water. Now let's try the monster. And before we move on, let's see, it started at 400 milliliters and went up just a little bit, not even to 450, kind of like 425 milliliters. So that displaced about 25 milliliters of water. Let's try the big monster. We're starting at 400 milliliters. And you may drop him in. And ooh, he made the water rise a lot more. He made it rise almost up to 500 milliliters. So, Michaela, why do you think that these objects that take up space made the water level rise? Like, what happened?
Because when you put them down, there's not enough space, so it has to kind of move out.
Yeah, like we put the car in, and the car it drops through the water, takes up some of the space in the water, so it has to push some of the water out of the way. It pushes out the amount of water that the car takes up, which is just a little bit of space. With the case of the monster, we push him in, he takes up a lot of space, so he pushes a lot more water out of the way, so the water level rose higher. So what's gonna happen if we take this car out of the water to the water level? Is the water level gonna stay the same, or is it gonna go down?
Go down.
Yep, it goes down, because the object that we put in there that takes up space is not in there anymore. And if we take the monster out, water level goes right back to 400 milliliters. So the next step is for us to figure out, like, we want to dunk air. We somehow want to put air into the water, and if the air makes the water level rise, then we can probably prove that air takes up space. If we put the air into the water and the water level stays the same, then air does not take up space. So that's our next investigation.